Oh my god, look at that! I thought I saw something on the hill. I can't get any farther up, but look at this. The developer sure had a lot of fun with this. Hello there, my YouTube friends and fans. This is a little video about a game called Atomfall. You probably heard about it. I wanted to play this game since ever I heard about it, but I had to finish Assassin's Creed Shadows first, which was a really long game, so I couldn't wait, obviously, to start this right after. And boy, this game is so different than what I expected, but in a good way. A lot of people said this is kind of like Fallout in England, but no. This game is anything but Fallout. It is so much more like Half-Life 2, and the characters in this game reminded me a lot of the game The Happy Few, if you're familiar with that game. And then some elements reminded me of BioShock Infinite, if you know that game. There's a little bit of mix of those three games, and if you liked all of those three games, you will definitely like this game. Unless you've already played it, then you know what I'm talking about. So I definitely wanted to make a video about just my impressions of the game. And also, I always like to make videos of games I really like because it's a nice memory for myself. I often watch my videos like a year, two, or even many years later, and a lot of nice memories come back. And this is definitely a game that I probably will never forget because it's just an incredible game. The game is about 40 hours long if you explore everything and do all the quests and side quests. But you can definitely finish this game in a much shorter time if you just go for the main quest and you just want to get to the end. But there are 6 different endings in this game, so a lot of people do like a main walkthrough of this game where they do everything, and then in order to experience all the different endings, they go back to a previous save and then just play the different endings. One achievement actually is to finish the game in 5 hours, which is crazy. I don't know how you can do this, but you know, they're the speedrunners and they're experts in this, but I guess it will take a lot of trials to get this game done in 5 hours. I can't even imagine how you would do that. And what I also didn't expect is that this game is made of 5 different maps or regions, as they call them here. But each map, when you look at them on the map, you feel like, oh, they're kind of smallish. But then as you start exploring the maps, you find so many locations and quests and things to discover. So each map can take you many hours, I would say up to like 10 hours to just explore and discover and do everything. And you will go back to those maps over and over again for things that you missed or things that you had to leave because your inventory was full. So you can go back and pick that up later when you have room or when you actually need it. And every time I went back to those maps, I found new locations that I completely missed the first time around because they're kind of hidden, cleverly hidden, which I really loved. And every map is just so different that my mind was just blown every time. I was like, what? Oh my god. I mean, I don't want to like spoil things for you here, but there is some really, really cool locations. Like locations that gamers just really love in games. And you can tell that they were really thinking about this when they made the game. And another thing that was very cleverly made, and I think some other games do it nowadays too, and that was probably not possible a few years ago, but the problem that The Happy Few had is that you could literally walk on a road and all of a sudden you ended up in a loading screen because it had to load what's coming up in front of you, like the map in front of you, because it couldn't load the whole map at once. And in this game, what they did is you just have those huge doors that you go from section to section. Sometimes it's a door, sometimes it's a tunnel, sometimes it's a cave, but those kind of act instead of the loading screens. And it's just a really clever way to make us feel like the game is just a complete huge map with, you know, sections where you have to go through, but you're not sitting at a loading screen. I mean, can't get any better than that, right? And I really love that we have a British game again, and only British people can make a proper British game, obviously. This game has been actually made by a British developer called Rebellion Developments. And you see so many bits and pieces that will just remind you that you are in England, even though not all the characters like have this typical British accent that you would expect. But there's a mix of characters in here, because I don't think all of them are British. But the world for sure is very British, and I love that. And I actually had very cozy feelings when playing this game, just because it's always sunny, and it's always day, and it's just so pretty, and so lovely, and so cutesy. Until you run into your first robot. But then you realize that this robot actually is friendly. Well, if you don't piss him off, that is. And it is very easy to piss off robots that are friendly, but especially people, and that's something that I had to learn the hard way, because if you piss off people, they will start attacking you, or you have to defend yourself, and, you know, some of those people may die. And that actually will prevent you from doing all the endings at the end of the game. That was a mistake I made. I actually killed 2 people that I could have made an ending with. Oh well, my loss. But I was still able to do 4 of the 6 endings. But yeah, just in case you haven't played this game, stay friendly with everyone. You know, if they're friendly to you, just, you know, keep it friendly. And they remind you of that many, many times when you walk through the village. But there's really just one region that is friendly as long as you stay friendly. All other regions are extremely hostile. There are, for example, several types of human enemies like outlaws, druids, and protocol soldiers, all very deadly if you are not on your toes. But fortunately, you get more and more different weapons, ranging from bows to bats to, of course, guns. All kinds of explosives and poisons that you can use, which makes this really fun. So you all of a sudden know exactly what tool to use to take out certain enemies. Some work better for some enemies and others work better for other enemies. But that's what I like so much about games like that you have a variety and they're all different. Then you also run into ferals, lots of them. They're actually not as scary as they look like, but at the beginning of the game, they could still take you down super fast. I actually found that you could take them down much faster with a bat than with a gun. But that's something I had to learn first. Then we have swarms like rats. Oh my god, those rats, do they remind you of a game? Well, they sure reminded me strongly of the game A Plague Tale and A Plague Tale Requiem. And of course, they always appear when you find something very interesting and then they keep you from going there. Other enemies don't have feet and hands. They come in shapes of, they are plants, and they are not small plants, as you can see here. They are really scary at the beginning, even though they look pretty, but some of them can smack you real hard like a baseball bat, and others just explode and have a little cloud that can hurt you. That's not too bad, but then there's this plant that can spew poison at you from a really far distance. You get all of a sudden like dizzy and you don't even know where it came from. And once you actually see the plant, you're already too close. So a lot of times it's too late by then. But if you're lucky, you can just get away and heal yourself up. And yes, then there are different types of robots. They're like the flamethrower robots, and just the ones that shoot at you, like this guy. And they can take you down fast. It takes a long time to take them down just by shooting them. But if you find the weak spot, you can get them down. And sticky grenades work really well. And then you just have to remove the battery from their backs before they wake up again. And you actually can use those batteries later on in the game, so it's good to collect them. I had actually a ton of batteries at the end, way more than I needed. So there's no need to collect those batteries, but it sure helps. And it's really good to know where you find the so-called pneumatic dispatch tubes. At first, it's not really clear what they are, but then you realize quickly that you can store stuff that you don't want to carry around, and you can access your stuff at any pneumatic dispatch tube at any location, which is super convenient. I love how they did the interface here. Very clean and easy to understand, not cluttered like in some other games. And while ammo is scarce, everything else really isn't. As you can see here in my storage, there is an abundance of guns and an abundance of all kinds of different remedies and explosives. I barely used any of it. I was mostly just running around with my bat. And I just used bandages to heal myself. That was good enough. But I always carried some other things with me just in case. Because you never know what you run into. And in this game, you definitely had situations where you ran into things that you did not really expect. But hey, you die, you learn, and then you attack a different way. But yeah, I had so much stuff. But there's also traders in the game, and you can sell a lot of this stuff to traders. If you're like low on ammo, you can get some ammo. If you can't get batteries off of robots, just buy them at traders. You can do that too. So the game really offers you a lot. The game has never been frustrating for me because of that. And while you find a ton of really cool things in the world, a lot of things that will help you fight enemies, but also treasures and medical things. Besides that, you also can use your metal detector to find loot boxes hidden underneath the ground. And there's tons of them, and it's really fun to find them. Sometimes they're in dangerous areas, so you have to take out the enemies first before you can do that. But I thought that was a really neat addition to the game. And there's many more really cool things, but one more thing I wanted to mention here is that this game also comes with photo mode, which I thought was really cool because there's definitely some scenes that you want to take a photo of. Like this one I thought would make a really great wallpaper for my desktop. Yeah, why not? I mean, nowadays I feel every game that has excellent graphics should come with a photo mode, right? There's many more things that I could mention, but I really don't want to give away any spoilers like in all of my videos unless I make a walkthrough. I just love this game so much. It's so far one of my top 4 games this year. And I hope a lot of people get to enjoy it the way I enjoyed it. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment if you want, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy gaming, take care, bye-bye.
For the trees stand close, are watered in blood. Stay out of that place, be you blithe, be you good. There's no